Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. But welcome back. Episode 9.
Episode 9.
Yes. How was your wedding?
Good. It was a busy weekend. We were on the lake on Friday, and that was awesome. Gorgeous day. Like, weather was super nice over the weekend. The couple was just like super sweet. Like, really good time. And then my Saturday wedding, same thing. Like, just good dance floor and like some of the nicest people I've been around. And the guests were just awesome. And it wasn't like, I think that people set the expectation of to have a great wedding, you always have to have the most packed, great dance floor. And that's not always the case. Every group of people is different. We have people that want to socialize more during weddings. We have people that want to dance more. Sometimes you get a mix of both. Sometimes one way more than the other. And I think it's really easy for us to be like, oh, we don't have a dance floor going right now. Like everything's going terrible. But really that was not the case with the Saturday wedding. It was, we had these moments of like, I would get everybody out there and we'd be going for like 5 songs really strong, but the weather was so perfect. The sun went down. They opened this like garage door on the side of the venue so everyone could go outside. They had a bonfire set up out there. So it's like, why wouldn't you go out there? So what I ended up doing was I just took my speaker, put it around the corner. So I had music and I just turned it down. So it wasn't like blaring, but everybody could still hear everything that was going on the dance floor. And that eventually got people to come back. Just because like they were like, oh, this song. And then so we were kind of trading, but it was great. Like the groom and a bunch of guys were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like outside. Like everybody was just having a really good time. And this was like a wedding that I was not stressed about not having a dance floor like 100% of the time. And especially like the end of the night, we just went out with a bang. Like it was like the last 30 minutes was just like, and it was a bunch of music that I didn't even know they liked. Like the groom kept coming up, the bride kept coming up. Hey, this song. And then every song I played that they gave me was just like their guests were obsessed with.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And it was great to like end the night on that energy level. You know what I mean? So
We're almost like SEAL Team 6 guys, where it's like, you're just waiting, you're waiting for the call. Mm-hmm. You're responsive, you're adaptable, you're ready to go, you're geared up. And then when people are ready to party, you can just hit them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bin Laden, you're good. You're dancing,
Exactly.
You're just ready to go. Because that's how it works. That's as a DJ. If you only look at the lens of a good time at a wedding is a full dance floor. If that's the only way you judge a wedding by its success, you're right. There's going to be weddings, but there's so many things about a wedding, about the entire day, about that experience that really have nothing to do with dancing at all.
Right.
But as DJs, we can become hyper focused about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's so important. We had a similar thing. I was at White Oak on Friday. Beautiful. I mean, just gorgeous day. Mm-hmm. They took them for sunset photos. They got some amazing. I already saw some sneaks from it. They look incredible.
That's awesome.
And so, people for the first hour and a half, almost 2 hours, people were outside. Mm-hmm. They had a bar outside too, which did not do dance floor any favors because people were like, I don't even have to come in to drink, Yep. So everyone's outside. There was cigars, there was drinks, there was beautiful sunset, gorgeous weather. That is the natural enemy of the dance floor.
Right.
But guess what? The sun always sets. People always get drunker, and we're still there hiding, ready to go, in wait with all the beats, with all the best songs. I had to literally save so many good songs.
And I've thought about that a lot. I had that struggle too. And I was talking to my assistant, Kate, about this. It's really hard because you don't want to get rid of all the good songs too early in the night, especially when people aren't dancing yet. But also, you don't want to play like bad songs either because that's not going to get them out there. So it's like finding that middle ground to still get them interested, but not like throwing away like your best top hits,
It's tough, too, because when you're going into a wedding, it's kind of like a first date. The crowd doesn't know you. You don't know them. Mm-hmm. You want to show them what you're capable of right away. You want to put your best qualities forward as a DJ.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can rely on me to throw a good party for you. Because if people are like, oh, I don't like that song, snoo, see ya, out, it's like next, they don't want to go. There's not going to be a second date. They're not going to be dancing. And so, yeah, you kind of want to sneak it in there. They're like, hey, you're going to be missing out if you leave this one. And so you're right. You want to play some of those good songs early, some of those bangers that get them going, but you don't want to do too many because then you burn them out, or because then you just wasted them all and everyone's out drinking drinks or hanging out, playing bags outside or whatever. So it's a delicate balance. It always is.
It is really tricky finding that balance.
Yeah. Then Saturday, we were at their Lure on the Lake. Rager. 10, best wedding of the year so far, 10 of 10.
Oh, awesome.
It was a rager. I had a new guy, Jeff, with me, and I told him, like, it's not always like this. I wish it was, but I was like, there's ones that are tough. There's ones you have to work for. But this one, it was just, every song was a hit song. We did sing-alongs. We did dancing. We did a lot of stuff.
You couldn't get them off the dance
floor.
I
couldn't get them off.
Couldn't play a bad song. That's the best feeling.
It was epic. I mean, just incredible. And then we were back on Sunday, Lure on the Lake. It was the Lure on the Lake takeover weekend. We were there on Sunday for a tasting. And then we got a photo booth there on Friday. Another one, well, back on Saturday. So we love them, love their team over there.
I like really those tastings too, because like we ran into 2 couples that were doing their weddings later in the year. And so it's great to just like, oh, hey, we're here. We're going to be here.
Just immediately connect. They get to see our equipment in the space. They get to talk about us in the space and layout and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a neat thing. It's a try before you buy, but it's also kind of get to know and, and get more excited about your wedding.
Yeah. And then, so touching on this, you brought up like the delicate balance of the dance floor. There's a lot that can always go right and a lot that can always go wrong. I want to kind of get into like dance floor killers, dance floor saviors. Like whether that's music or something you can do on the mic. I know usually we try and stay off the mic and not try to be pushy towards people, but I guess we can run through some scenarios. If like the dance floor immediately dies, like no reason, like let's say like you got him out for a line dance, but then after that like fizzles out, where do you think you would go? Do you have like a song that could get people out, or a specific genre of music, or I don't know. Like do you have something you would go to save the dance floor when you see that it's kind of fizzling away, dying?
Sure. I mean, so it obviously, of course, depends on the couple, depends on what they've told me they like or they don't like, what they don't want, But I have a couple songs I use to reset that energy. And one of them, believe it or not, is the song At Last by Etta James. It's
classic.
It's just sleepy, there's that kind of just beautiful string intro, at last. And anyways, it immediately resets the whole energy of romance, love. It's a slow song. It's an oldie, but it's a hit. People know it, and they have very positive memories with it. It's in a lot of movies. It's in a lot of TV shows. Anyway, people, that'll be a good reset. And then from there, I'll go to like Frank Sinatra, The Way You Look Tonight. It's kind of a waltz, boom. It's a little upbeat. And then you can just go to a sing-along or go back into some more upbeat stuff. But I find those are really good to reset that energy and also pull in some dancers you maybe not have had before. Line dancers, yeah, they can get it going because they can make people like get in the mood to dance, remind them that, oh yeah, dancing's fun. Because this one's easy to dance to because it's already been told me what I need to do to dance, And it's less threat and pressure because everybody's doing it. Everyone's looking silly. Everyone's feeling on the spot. So it's fun it's a good way to break the ice. That's what they're there for. So yeah, slow dance, I'll do it. It depends on the couple. If it's like later in the night, drop some hip hop, drop something heavier, harder, something that's really gonna get them shaking.
Right. What do you think is like environmental factors of like the wedding day? The venue, the guests. What advice could you give on what not to do? Like what would kill the dance floor? One for me is the venue doesn't turn off the lights when the dance floor hits. That's always awkward. No one wants to be in a super bright space. Like you want to, obviously around a bunch of people, but there's almost like a little bit of a privacy you get when the lights are off. Like everything's a little more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. The number one thing in dancing is atmosphere. So if there's a bad layout, it's a weird dance floor. It's in the corner where the speaker placement is strange. Like you can't be near and interact with the crowd as a DJ. You've got to be set up somewhere else or up in a tree house or something. That's going to kill your dance floor. The weather's nice. And there's a lot of cool stuff to do outside, and there's drinks and smoke and everything, games outside. people are going to do that. Of course they will.
Yeah.
They're human, you know. Yeah, I do find, if the couple disappears, if they're not on the dance floor, a lot of people disappear too. You know, they're chilling. You know, the whole event is about celebrating that couple, so the focus is on them. And if they're nowhere to be found, everyone else is nowhere to be found.
Right.
Typically, you know. Lights for sure. It's got to be dark. People feel judged. They feel looked at. They feel examined. So you got to have it as dark as possible. You got to, you know, they got to be able to feel the music. It's got to overwhelm them in a way that doesn't deafen them, of course, but that it overwhelms their senses where they don't feel. It's like when you're running and you hear yourself breathing. You're like, I'm way more tired than I thought. And I think you get in your head about it.
Yeah. And I think a big one that ties to that when you say like feel the music is like, don't put us on a stage.
Yes.
Like that is.
Speakers are above. You got the subs above people's heads.
One, we're separated from everything else, which already feels weird and we're hard to get to. Yeah, especially when we're like on a really high. I've been in some weird spots before on like balconies. Basically, it's very strange. But like that's something. And yeah, I would just say, you just don't feel the music. You can hear it, but like you can like hear the next person to you talking while you're dancing.
That too. Yeah. If the music's too quiet, and there's venues that have like decimeters. And then they will like trip the breaker if it goes over a certain amount. So you're over 85 decibels, it's going to turn off your music.
Oh, wow.
There's ones that are that serious, or that they will watch you and they'll come and unplug your thing. They'll warn you once or twice, and then and it's because they set up their wedding venue in a very, in a neighborhood that does not want a wedding venue there. And they complain about sound all the time, and they're very strict about it.
Yeah.
There's venues that make you use their sound system, and then they have total control over your gain, your volume, and they'll turn your way down. So.
I guess I haven't really experienced that. I have been like some like outdoor venues in Michigan. They're very strict of like after 11 o'clock, like nothing, you know.
A lot of that is because they've gotten so many complaints from their neighbors, you know. And I wouldn't want to live next to a wedding venue, you know?
Right?
Trade off, but yeah, those kind of things. It's very rarely what people would expect is you're playing bad music, right? That's what I would expect if I didn't DJ for a living. I would be like, well, he's playing terrible music. That's not the case,
right? It's
almost never the case. You and I have done this enough years. This is what 8 years for you. This is like 16 years for me. Like. You know when it's you, and you know when it's not you. And most of the time, it's not you. You're like, I'm just going to stay the course. I've charted my path to a dance floor, and it's going to break late. I'm just going to keep doing everything I can to get them going, but I am not going to panic that people aren't dancing.
Right.
I'm just going to keep doing what I know works, and eventually it does work. It hits. But you're right. It's very rarely like this is just way off. This DJ is clueless, doesn't know the songs. I've been to weddings like that before, like where I wasn't DJing, but I've attended, and the DJ just did not know how to read a crowd, did not know what song selection was, would do like, you know, slow song, and then like Cupid Shuffle, and everyone comes out and then goes right into another slow song, and like just didn't understand about curating and controlling energy in a way that feels natural, that there's a nice flow to it. It was just like, this one's popular, how about this one? How about this one? It was like a guessing game. And you want to avoid that. You want to avoid a jukebox feeling at your wedding where there's just a set cue list and somebody requested Tom Jones and somebody requested Backstreet Boys and somebody requested Chicken Dance, and none of those songs are going to mix together, and the energies are way off, and the kind of people that will dance those songs are 3 different groups of people. And so why would you ever have a consistent dance floor with that?
Right.
Yeah, you want to curate the environment in a way that people are like, this is the place to be. That's what happened Saturday. That's why it was a 10 out of 10, is that the dance floor was the place to be. And in fact, if you weren't on that dance floor, you were missing out.
Right.
This is where the action is. This is where the bride and groom are. This is where people are singing and dancing and making memories. And if you're outside, that's because you didn't want to be about the music, or you had something important to say, or you needed a breather because you're dancing so hard. But you're going to get right back into it because that's where everything is happening.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a 10, because it just, no matter what we played, slow, fast, sing along, whatever, raged, full floor.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's crazy how much like the venue layout can completely change how the night is. Like, I mean, one, how easy it is for us, like load in, load out, where we're set up, if we're close to the dance floor or not, you know, really depends on the venue I've been at. But I've noticed that more so this year than any other is like the venue I'm at can completely, like I could be with the same group of people and if we're at a different venue, way better dance floor or way worse dance floor, whatever. It really can change a lot.
And it could be the same set list, the same songs, the same mixes. I mean, you could be playing the best, most popular music ever, and it won't get anybody to dance if the environmental factors are not there.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, the advice I would give is just like have a venue where the DJ can be as close to the dance floor as possible, a bar that's not completely far away from the reception area and the dance floor. Those are the two really big ones.
I love the venues where the bar is either on. There's two bars and there's one on each side of the dance floor. The Market was like that.
Yeah.
Or where the bar is like when you're in line at the bar, you're on the dance floor technically. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or the bar is like opposite the DJ, that kind of, or near.
That's nice.
That's a real good way to do it. And I like be able to people can where it's the dance floor is kind of it's centric, but it's also where if you want to get away, you can. You want to sneak off and talk, that's fine. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, we had a lot of hit songs. And I was talking to the new guy, Jeff, about, you know, good DJ plays music that people dance to, that people like. But a great DJ plays songs that people didn't know they liked. And those are songs that it wasn't on the request list. They didn't know they were going to hear that song tonight. But you as a DJ read the room, and I knew instinctually and from experience, that's how you develop that instinct, that this song's going to hit big with this crowd. And that's on 10 of 10. For me, part of that is that I have that back and forth with the crowd, that I knew I read them. And I kept, there was like so many of those songs where I go, was this on their list, Jeff? He goes, no. But I'm like, look, everybody is singing along. That is like a symphony orchestra, music to my ears. Everybody's in tune with what I'm doing, and I'm in tune with what their needs are, and I'm just delivering.
They were hungry. They wanted something. They didn't know what to eat.
That's right.
But
Papa,
you gave the suggestion.
Papa DJ got the snacks. Yeah, got the treats. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really, and honestly, that can be either the best or the worst feeling. There has been, it doesn't happen often, but there's been a lot of times where I'm like, okay, the songs they've given me, the way the flow's going, they've been vibing to this, dancing to that. I know the song's gonna hit, and then it doesn't. And it's like that, and it doesn't happen often. Usually, like, yeah, you're right. Instinct is correct. Like, I know, but yeah, it's just like sometimes it happens. Sometimes we're like, wait, what is this song? Like, I have no idea. But I think that happened with like Mr. Brightside before, which I was shocked. And it was like before that was like All the Small Things. It was like a lot of pop punk, and I was like leading up to this, and I'm like, this one, and then they were like, oh. Really? But yeah, sometimes it happens. But
so yeah, what are you, if you had 5 or could pick a few songs that you didn't know they wanted to hear, but they should?
Yes.
Like you're, as a DJ, those would probably be.
Yeah, so a big one that I've been playing like the past 2 years, and it like, it always hits, and it's one of my favorites, but I never see it, never get it requested, never see it on a list, is Icona Pop. I love it. Is that what it is called? Yeah, I like it. I love
it. It's almost
yeah.
never on the list, but you know it hits.
It's in like a BPM range that goes with so many other songs that are usually requested. Like it's like a really good like pop song that's like in the 120s or whatever. And it hits like every single time.
Yeah.
And it's nice and short. It's like under 3 minutes. It's a pretty quick hitter, but I get everybody sing along. It's good for early in the dance floor, but it still is like high energy. Yeah, that's like, that's a huge one.
Everyone knows it. It's from that same era of music as a bunch of other songs that are popular. And yeah, people forget it. They sleep on that one.
Another one I would say is, or do you want to trade back and forth? I don't
Go
know.
ahead. No, if you know.
I was going to say Dancing Queen. That's been a huge one. And you kind of showed me there's like, you can like mix that into like Staying Alive. And I think there's one other song I'm trying to remember.
There's a bunch.
But yeah, that one like early in the night is great. And I feel like it's kind of like in my girl power hour set that I like, but it also, everybody's obsessed with that song as of late.
ABBA's making a huge comeback. You know, people are loving their stuff.
But yeah, I also rarely see that one get requested or someone ask. Yeah. Yeah, ABBA has been coming back. I got those two. I got to think a little more. But if you
think about them, I have a few. Yeah. These are a few songs that you didn't know you wanted to hear at weddings that I find consistently when I feel like it's appropriate, this group's going to like this, I drop it and it hits big. The first one, Kanye West, Jay-Z, and Words in Paris.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah. That one always
skate the one song and
slaps.
one song only. Oh my goodness, it's got everything. It's got drops from Will Ferrell from
Yep.
that ice skating movie, and it's got Jay-Z and Kanye West, and it's just got that amazing beat. And because it's in the 70s range, you can mix it with a lot of stuff.
That's true.
Tons of energy. Cascada's Every Time We Touch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that hits
Yeah.
big, and it's rarely requested. It's rarely on the list, but man, when the crowd is up for that. And then you got so many things you can mix with that. You've done the Sandstorm. I tried that
Yep.
the other day. It hit big.
That
I did
one.
on Friday. I did that on Friday. Oh man.
I found that one is a big like college song. Like there's a lot of sororities and frats that are very into that song, and like all those like older EDM mixes like Sandstorm. So yeah,
Yes.
that's why I do those. Is because
Yes.
usually it like hits like a
College party.
kind of a nostalgia bone
Yes.
a bit. So
That's exactly. It's a
Yeah.
nostalgia bone. That's
yeah.
right.
I don't know exactly what that
the
is.
part of
but
your body that is nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's
in
bone form.
Your funny bone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
your-
Yeah. Exactly.
You got your nostalgia bone.
You got your dancing shoes.
Yep.
Yeah. Sammy Adams, All Night Longer. That's another. I played that at both weddings, and
That
sure
one-
enough,
I wasn't too familiar with before, but
yeah.
I've been getting it requested, and now I'm playing it like every wedding.
Gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
So
that one
good.
a lot.
So this is it's not new, it's an old one, but we played it at that Notre Dame one we did. And it's Enrique Iglesias' Escape. It's one of those ones that snuck through that same era, the EDM early, 2000 teens.
Yeah.
You can run, you can. It starts off slow, dun, 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 dun,
Mhm.
and oh my goodness, that's a hit. That's a secret song that people sleep on. That it's perfect for late in the night. Because Enrique has this way of like pulling you in. Hero is another good one. It's a good sing
gotta write
along.
these down, 'cause
I
I
can be
haven't-
your hero, baby. Oh my goodness,
About.
I've seen like grown men cry singing that song at a wedding. It is so beautiful, and people just, Enrique Iglesias just knows how to bring it. But yeah, Escape. That's a big one that people will dance to, jump around, and Sugar, We're Going Down. It's another one people forget to request.
Well, the pop punk
yes
thing has been
It's having a moment.
happening lately.
It's having a moment.
What I think it is too, because I've thought about this, and I'm like, okay, most of the people getting married now, they didn't really grow up with that music. Like it wasn't like a high school thing. But when I was like 7 or 8, and all my sisters were in high school, my cousins, they like made me CDs all the time.
All the cool
and it
kids
was
you looked up to
all of that.
were listening to that.
Yes. Yeah, like so much of that. Like Jimmy Eat World, like
Yeah.
I had that on a CD. It was like, yeah, the middle,
Yes.
all the small things. Like it was like so many good hits. So I think it's like all these kids that
Yeah.
had that connection. Now it's like, yes.
Yeah, I wrote I write Sins Not Tragedies, Panic at the Disco. That's a good wedding song, too. People are loving that one. That's a good. And then the last one I've got is it's an old one. Old, but I mean like early 2000s. It's Justin Bieber, Baby.
Is that one making a comeback?
Oh my gosh, I dropped that on Friday. People lost it. Like, that's a good song. It mixes with a lot of stuff. It's in that 130 range. And again, it's not on anybody's list, but it's so poppy and so fun. And you got Ludacris who drops, and everybody knows every word. It's permeated culture enough. But at the time, it was overplayed. But now we haven't heard it in a long time, and you still remember it. You have that connection to it.
Right.
So, yeah. Any other ones you think of?
Yeah. To finish out, I would say, so I got like 3 more. It's a new remix, but it's the I'm Good Blue song.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
The
David
David
Guetta.
Guetta. Yeah, that one has been, and pop punk and EDM, that's like been the thing this year. But yeah, that's a huge one. Time of Our Lives, Pitbull.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because a lot of the Pitbull songs, it's like Fireball.
Yeah.
Or
Fireball.
like, was it Hotel Room Service? Is that the one? Like, those are like the 2 like ones that I think I get requested a lot. But yeah, like Time of Our Lives is like a good build up, and it's just a good like feel good song. I don't know. I really like that one a lot. Yeah, and then a classic that I've been doing a lot is Let's Stay Together.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's been a new like
Pulp Fiction.
start of the dance floor, and it's just like I think it's a good mix between it's
How
not a
great.
slow song. It's not like I'm gonna slow
Yeah.
dance right now, but like not too high energy. So it's a good just like ease into the dance floor, and
Yeah.
feel it out. But that one I've been playing a lot more lately.
That one's on my Warm the Floor mix.
And it's just a sexy song too.
Yes, it is.
It's great.
So then the way he sings it is very careful, Love
Yeah.
You just kind of.
I'm not gonna butcher Marvin
No, I know.
Gaye. Yeah.
I've done that enough. I've been listening. That's so funny. What are like 5 songs that? Because some people they pick a must play and they pick a do not play, and then they also just give us here's the stuff we like, But what are some songs that should be on their must play list? If you pick a few, like you should put this on your list. We should play this if they haven't thought of it already.
Yeah. Good must plays. I would say, and kind of coming back to it, but Mr. Brightside.
Yep.
Because that's a good.
That's the first one on my list.
Yeah. End of the night, like sing along.
People have a response to that song.
Yeah, it brings something out in people.
It does.
For sure.
Yeah.
They
have memories associated with it. It's all positive.
I'm getting pretty sick of Uptown Funk. And that one, I mean, it's like that. When did they come out? Like 2010, something like that.
2015.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I guess it's not that old, but still, it's like
it's been overplayed.
Yeah, and I think the replacement for that is 24 Karat Magic.
Okay.
I think that's the new Bruno song that's been hitting, and people aren't like totally sick of yet.
Okay.
So that one always hits really well.
I put All the Small Things.
Yeah,
those go really well back to back.
Yes.
Right Side and All the Small Things. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't want it, but I tell you, I've never seen it not hit. People love that song.
True.
You could do it early in the night. You could do it later in the night. You could do it middle of the night. It's a slow. It's a fast. It's a sing along. It's whatever. Very approachable song, and a lot of people have memories with it. College memories. No Hands, Waka Flocka. You should put that one on there. People love that. That one always hits. People know all the words. They go nuts for it. Usher, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obvious. These are obvious must plays. You got to play it. People love it. They dance to it. I put Ed James at last, but that's mine. And then Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
I play that at every single wedding.
The Marvin Gaye version, not the Michael.
Is there another one?
There's several. Yeah.
Oh, there's only one in my eyes.
Yes, thank you. yeah. Tammy Terrell, Marvin Gaye.
The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
That's right. They nailed it. You don't need any other versions. That's the one you want. And then lately, I've seen at weddings. Honestly, is because Taylor is having a moment. Love Story.
Oh yeah.
And Cruel Summer.
I have to listen to that again to refresh my memory, but I don't know Taylor too well. Sorry.
You got to get to know her. You just don't get her. You will. You all will.
I would say if you have a younger crowd, Gasolina.
Oh, yes.
That one mixes so well and is just like that hypes people up. And then Mobamba.
Oh, Shaq West.
Yeah.
Man.
That gets people like screaming. It's great. It's so good.
I love doing that. And I love doing like a 679. What's
Is that
one?
Fetty Wap?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's great. Oh, yeah. I forgot how good this song is, but this was my Saturday wedding, and it was on their list, and I think it should be a must play, is All of the Lights.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one it hits so well.
We're gonna
and
have
I
to
forgot how good it was.
We have to have a section talking about Kanye, because I know he's like...
Probably. This is
he's
a
a
middle
lot
ground.
of hit songs.
This is a middle ground of there are certain artists where I've had people that are like, no, not happening, and that has been like R. Kelly.
Yep.
I used to play Ignition every single wedding.
Yep.
Never, hardly at all anymore. And also, I'm not going to judge if you want, art from the artist. If you want that music at your wedding, we're going to play it.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that decline because no one wants to associate with it, and we're kind of on this middle ground with Kanye. I have had it requested a lot less. I've still seen it on lists occasionally.
Yeah. Michael Jackson too.
Yes. Oh, that was going to be the third one I was going to say was Michael Jackson. Yeah. And I'm curious where this is going to go because a lot of his music was like huge, like through weddings in the early 2000s up until now, like generally requested and hit well. So we're going to see.
People have complicated feelings about the artist versus the art.
Mm-hmm.
And DJs, we have to confront that on a semi-regular basis because some of the art people have made, people connect with, but then when you find about them as an artist, as a person, what they've done, you can't square it.
Don't meet your heroes.
I don't even want to dance to it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to support it,
Don't meet your heroes.
don't meet your heroes. Don't listen to your heroes' art or participate in their art. So I think it's a similar thing with Bill Cosby. He did a lot of great things, and then he did a lot of terrible things. And so how do you square that? It's difficult. It's not humans. As I always say to my wife, humans can be more than one thing. Some of the cruelest dictators in history loved animals. How do you what?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else right now.
Okay. I don't want the last thing I talk about
to be the cruelest dictators
in history.
Cut that. Let's end with that's hilarious.
Let me see. I had a couple other things. So let me just see. How many slow songs should a wedding have? How many slow songs?
1 per hour. So an average wedding is 3.5 hours. So 3 slow songs.
I like that.
If you want to consider, I don't consider sing-along slow songs with the last half hour to hour of the dance floor because that's different. But to give people a break, because if you're going to have a really high energy crowd, people do get tired. There's times where I've had people dancing for 2 hours straight and I don't want to stop. And then I'm like, I feel like they do need a break. Like they're literally about to collapse. And then I do it and they're like, hey, what are you doing? But I would say 1 per hour is the correct amount.
That's a good correct amount. That's what I was going to say. Two or three a night, depending on the dance set. Probably no more than that unless you have a specific crowd or people they just want it slow.
The crowds I can think of is if you don't have much of a, dancing crowd, more socializing, especially the big country weddings. Mm-hmm. Most country music that gets sent to me is slower.
Yes.
So sometimes people just want to hear that.
Yeah.
I've had weddings where I've done 20 slow country songs and people literally just want to sway.
Yes, right.
That's totally fine.
Sway and sing and drink beer with their bros and talk about their dog. Yeah.
But that's probably the only type of wedding that I can really think of that is kind of like they want that type of energy. But yeah.
Yeah, there's something to that romance. The slow sway, that you're embracing this other person. That's part of the dance. Is I know as DJs you want high energy. You want to get it going. You want to party. But slow songs are important. They're an important part of that. And I always like it when the couple gives me just 1 or 2. They just or they give me a few that any of these will do. Just don't do all of them back to back.
Right. I would say I think every couple should definitely give me some slow songs because I've had some where they don't give me any, and then I'll just go to my go-to ones that I usually do. Thinking Out Loud is a really popular one, or Wonderful Tonight, Eric Clapton. But sometimes they don't like those songs of that genre, so it's I think it's important that they do send at least a few of these are slow songs we like, whatever.
Yeah, I like when people do the forethought too, when they get to know their family and friends, and they find out what were their first dance songs at their weddings. I think that can really make it special. And something as DJ, I try to do if I can, is sometimes you have couples attend your weddings that you did their wedding. And then I look up or I remember what was their first dance song, and I play that.
Oh.
I don't say anything. And then they look at me, and I look at them, and there's there's that slow nod.
That's really cool.
We see you. I see you too. That's fun. It's that little special treat, that you do. But you can't always do it. It doesn't always work with time. It doesn't always work with what's going on. But I like to do it when I can.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay, I think we did a podcast. So
we did.
Yes.
And we will be on number 10 next time.
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
We should talk about if we want to have guests or if it's just going to be us at some point.
Yeah.
But this is the DJ Insider Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
Thanks so much for listening. We will see you on the dance floor.